Hey, it's Steak here, Steve Salisbury. It's Thursday, it's Wild Card Weekend. We've had a phenomenal week. It's been a very interesting week. The regular season ended. A couple of coaches got blasted on Monday. A general manager got blasted on Monday. And that to me is the biggest news of the entire week. It really is. Why is a general manager getting blasted the most incredible news of the week? Well, because it means Peyton Manning will no longer play in Indianapolis. You're wondering to yourself, I don't get how you're connecting the two. Well, here's the deal. The Colts fired Bill Polian. Now, Bill Polian was the architect of that team. He'd been there from 98 to 2011. His detractors might say, well, he only was great because he had Peyton Manning, and anyone would have drafted Peyton Manning. Yeah, absolutely. But not everyone would have drafted Jeff Saturday or Dominic Rhodes or Marvin Harrison or all the other guys he drafted. So he was a great... He was a great, throughout his entire career, he's been able to assemble teams. The Colts, during his tenure, had 10 straight 10-win or more seasons. 10 seasons in a row, they had 10 or more wins. That's consistency unseen in the NFL. You take a look at every team in the NFL now that's doing well. You can look at the Steelers, who are kind of the mark for success. They've had seasons where they weren't very good. The Colts have been fabulous. They've been the most consistent winning franchise the last decade and a half. And they're firing him. And you're going, well, why? Why would they do this? Well, they're firing him, I think, plain and simply because they want to get rid of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a guy who, he's 35 years old, 36. They gave him $25 million. They gave him a ton of money this year and he didn't play it down. So the Colts, in the mind of Jim Irsay, the owner, have done right by Peyton Manning. You know, think about Jim Irsay. He's thinking, okay, I'm going to get rid of this guy. I know it's going to be an emotional thing because Peyton means so much to the city. We've got this Lucas Oil field, or this Lucas Oil Stadium, which Peyton's success enabled us. Peyton's success on the field enabled the team to kind of raise their status to the point where we could get a stadium. We have a Super Bowl, which is bringing millions and millions of dollars to Indianapolis. So the owner's thinking, how do I make this as easy as possible? He's severing the ties. He's getting rid of the dissent of the opposing voice in the room when they get down to start to talk about Peyton Manning. And why are they going to get rid of Peyton Manning? Well, because they got Andrew Luck coming in the door. And he's the best quarterback coming out of the draft. He's, in the minds of the evaluators, the best NFL-ready quarterbacking prospect since John Elway. I mean, he's a fabulous, just unanimously, people think that this guy has all the tools, the intangibles and the tangibles, to be a great NFL quarterback. And when you have a franchise quarterback in the draft looking you in the eye, you have to take him. And so you're going to have a 22 or 23-year-old Andrew Luck, and you're going to have a 36-year-old Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, you've had 14 great seasons from him, 13 great seasons from him. You've had a Super Bowl title. You've been to 2 Super Bowls. He's had MVPs. You've given him $30 million. You can get rid of him without worrying about it. And in terms of just after the fact, so once they do this, and I fully believe that they are going to do this, you start to wonder, well, where's an ideal? Where does Peyton land? Where does Peyton land? I think there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be interested in getting him. But curiously, I think maybe the most appropriate destination for him would be San Francisco. And I don't think it's going to happen, but if you're Peyton Manning and you're at this point of your career, you want to win a Super Bowl. Which team would you say, if you looked around the league, is a quarterback away from having a Super Bowl team? The 49ers are great on defense. They're great on special teams. They don't make mistakes. You could argue that with a dynamic quarterback, because that's kind of the thing that people say about the Niners, is Alex Smith is not, they could be the team. So you could see, if that scenario were to eventuate, that it'd be something that Peyton Manning would be ready to do. So we'll see what happens there. And in terms of the Colts, it's like you're getting rid of a guy who not only did he build your franchise, but he built the Bills, sent them to 4 Super Bowls. He was in Carolina when they were he built Carolina when they were an expansion team. He was there for 4 seasons. In their second year there, he got this team to the NFC Championship game. And even before the NFL, he spent time in the Canadian Football League and got the Grey Cup, which is the Canadian version of the Super Bowl. while he was in Montreal and in Winnipeg. So this is a guy who can absolutely build teams. Interesting to see where he lands. There's a few destinations. Chicago, they got rid of Jerry Angelo this week. Maybe there. Oakland is actually looking now for a general manager. Is it the possibility that he would go there? It remains to be seen what's going to happen there, but it's pretty interesting. And to me, the most interesting thing is that this signals that Peyton Manning is done in Indianapolis. I'll catch you later.